My name is Landon, and welcome to the 420 podcast. Today, I'm going to be interviewing the founder and chief executive officer of High Science, Ed Leclere, today. How are you doing, Ed?
I'm doing great, Landon. It's good to have you as the host of our show.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's good to be the host. So, I just wanted to ask you a few questions about what it's like being the executive producer of High Science and what does it all entail. So, what does your day-to-day look like in getting things started and managing the business?
I usually have a call with David McKillop, my partner, every day.
Mhm.
We kind of discuss directions, uh, dialogue, things like that, planning for season two, going over numbers with the team to see how we did with season one and see if it keeps growing. We have a distributor in Istanbul, Turkey, so I talk to her a couple times a week. And then we have a distributor here in the U.S. That's shopping our show from season one, and I talk to her every week. So I go from calls to Zooms to calls.
I bet you're doing a lot of Zoom calls, then I bet you get tired of that.
Yes, yes, and it goes late because I'm dealing with people in Shanghai, to Ireland, and then in Sydney, Australia. So it's as well as the U.S. So a lot of different time zones and a lot of different times, early and late days.
Yeah, I'm sure that's kind of weird scheduling that because then you have to make sure it's in your time zone and you're not up too late and make sure it's okay for them as well.
Well, when I talk to Istanbul, I'm up at 4:35 in the morning because it's coming on to the end of their day. So it just kind of depends. And then when I talk to Australia, it's like 4 or 5 in the afternoon because it's the next day at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning their time. So it's a little crazy, but uh, I've learned to manage it, and it's a lot of fun, to be honest with you.
I like that. Yeah, that's definitely interesting. I mean, definitely have to get up early sometimes, but I'm sure it's not too bad just when it's for a call. So
Nope, nope, not at all. Not when you're trying to put something together and grow the brand of high science. So do what I got to take, what it does. Do what I got to do to make it happen. Excuse me.
So when you first started off High Science, what was the big vision that made you kind of all in for it, that made you want to take it serious and really start, doing something with it?
I really wanted to. First of all, when I was a kid, teenager, and I was into cannabis, it was totally different reasons. You used to smoke, get high, have a Wendy's triple, Biggie Fry, and a Frosty, and listen to some good music. Now that I'm 67 years old, I kind of use it for different parts of my health. And what I mean is lower back problems, anxiety, all kinds of things like that. And as I started diving deep into learning cannabis as I was getting older and seeing how it was really helping a lot of other people, I wanted to start a brand and get a TV show where we could educate and bring plant science to the masses out there, to the audience, and show them what an incredible plant this is. And like season two, I hope we can dive deep into mushrooms. And season three, we might do ketamine. There's all kinds of things. There's a lot of plant science out there, uh, and there's a reason it was put on this earth. It's really good.
I agree with you, and I think High Science does a great job at trying to educate people while also entertaining them as well. And it's interesting to have someone like you who's been a user like regularly and kind of used it for fun and now also is using it for health reasons as well. So you can kind of see both sides of, the good part and just, using it for a little bit of relaxation time as well.
I agree to that. And the thing is, everybody says, well, I have a friend that's a teacher, and she was worried about cannabis with children and this, that, and the other. Well, I'm sorry, kids get into alcohol more than they get into cannabis. Uh, and everything, if you take it into excessive, it can be bad for you. I'm not saying the only thing I've ever done is if you wanted to smoke too much dope or ingest too many edibles, you end up going to sleep, and you sleep it off. Whereas, alcohol can do a lot of crazy things to you. So I think going the plant way is a lot better. And that's not to say you can't use it to have some fun, because I'm the first to believe that, hey, you can use it to go to a concert or listen to a concert or listen to some great music. It just kind of enhances that for you. But everything in excess can be taken crazy.
I agree with you. And yeah, there is sort of a stigma where they try to say one's better than the other, like alcohol and things like that. One's not damaging your liver though, so that's definitely one thing to keep in mind. But yeah,
Yes,
I noticed that even I being as young as like 10, my parents will offer me a drink or something just to see if I want to taste it. But they're more worried about me doing, smoking weed. So it's just interesting how alcohol is just so normalized compared to, the stigma around marijuana.
it is. And when I grew up in a kid in Louisiana, it was nothing to have a beer with dad when you were 7, 8 years old,
Yeah.
or sit in a bar with him while he's having a drink and you're having a Coke or a Shirley Temple or whatever at the bar. But it's I believe Big Pharma and our government is the one has got everybody believing that cannabis is a bad drug and it's the gateway drug. Well, it's not. I've smoked pot my whole life and it's never led me to anything else. I've never done anything, nothing, just cannabis. And now I'm kind of dabbling in mushrooms for my brain deal. But uh, I have to say that it is, it's crazy. You can fly on a plane with a pocket full of opioids because you got a prescription big pharma, but they catch you with any kind of cannabis on a plane, they want to put you in jail. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. And that's what it takes is education.
I agree, and I think we can definitely play a role in that. And yeah, it's a crazy world how they can take their prescription meds, but we get something as little as just a little marijuana can get you locked up in prison. And
Yes.
then there's
Yep.
still people who are still locked up from when they were selling it back in the day as well. So just a whole ordeal.
Yep.
So I wanted to go into the next question, which is what is the hardest struggle with adapting in this industry with so many changes being ha made every year?
Well, when we were shooting season one, we had to abide by state to state rules and regulations governed by that state. Certain things we could show, certain things we couldn't show. So we had to really search out what is going on in order to be able to give the right dialogue into the show without getting somebody in trouble. Because the last thing we want to do is, I believe the cast members that we have in season one is some of the finest cast members across the country. A lot of them are OGs. Was there way, many, many, many years ago before they got into the legal weed. But so we wanted to make sure. Now, for us, there's been some trying moments like we received a wire in from a cannabis company and a bank shut us down, stuff like that. They held our money for 4 to 6 weeks before we could get it. Uh, but that's been really one of the only thing that I can say that we've come up against in shooting episode one, or I mean, shooting season one, or even starting high science, is just the banking problems because they say we're accepting illegal money. Well, all money looks the same to me. I can't tell which dollar's illegal or which dollar's legal. But I would say that's the problem. Now, listening to our cast members, if you're in the weed business, it's an everyday struggle. What laws and regulations they have today might not be that this afternoon or tomorrow. They got 280E, so they're trying to run a business that they can't take deductions down off of because it's illegal. They have ungodly amount of trying to get banks to deal with them or not deal with them. You find a cannabis friendly bank, and then that bank charges you out the ass because they can, because nobody else will deal with you. It's just an everyday struggle for these poor people, and I have to say, these are incredible business people, incredible entrepreneurs, and they know what they're doing. It's just they're battling. Not only are they battling federal, they're battling state, they're battling county, city, you name it. They're just all over the board, and I hear some struggles on a daily basis, and it's just crazy what's going on in the industry.
Yeah, that definitely is crazy. I never knew that like banks could do things like that. And I mean, it makes sense, but I just never really thought about all the things and how, I guess it was considered illegal and how, it can be hard to just get your income, when you're trying to make profit off of something that it could be considered illegal. But even with it being legal everywhere, there's still things holding you back, like the bank, and just that's so unnecessary. That's crazy that you guys had to deal with that. Like 4 to 6 weeks. That's
Yeah.
insane. It's insane.
I have a friend that owns a real big cannabis dispensary and grow in Arizona. He couldn't even buy a house, and he had the money to pay cash
Wow.
because he was in the cannabis industry, and so he had to get his family to buy him the house. So it's just on and on, everyday struggles for these poor people, and I feel so sorry for them because the government takes their taxes off the top and not give them any deductions, and they can only deal with certain banks and blah blah blah. It's just a struggle for everybody that's in the industry. Luckily, we're only in the media business, the media side, but we still have our problems as well because we're associated to the cannabis industry.
Yeah, I never knew dispensaries had all of those issues. I would think they'd be safe, but like you tell me, he couldn't even get a house, so that's crazy.
No,
Yeah,
just because the states is approved, it doesn't mean it's federally approved. And because it's not federally approved, that's where the issues come in, because the dollars are federal tendency, tender. So that's where the problem comes in.
that makes a lot of sense. And that's very unfortunate. And hopefully,
Yep.
there in the future it gets a lot better for that, but it just
Keeping my
sucks.
fingers crossed that Trump
Yeah,
does
we all
something and,
hopefully.
and gets this thing legalized or descheduled, one or the other. I think
Yeah,
deschedule is the wrong thing to do. I think it needs to be legal, but we'll see what happens.
we definitely will, and we'll definitely be covering it while it happens in the future. That's something we'll have
Yes.
the upper hand on.
Yep.
So, would you mind telling me what was probably your favorite or proudest moment with season one filming, or just like wherever you went? I know you guys went to so many amazing locations, but if you could just tell me a few that you liked.
Uh, I can start with uh, Wiseacre Farms and John Piasecki. He is probably the most incredible grower I've ever met. He has been graduated from so many different colleges, uh, absolutely understands the cannabinoids and how to grow some incredible sun grown weed. And when you talk to him, he breaks it down into layman terms. He doesn't talk over you. Now you go to that's in Great Barrington, Massachusetts. Then you go to Lee, Massachusetts, to Meg and Eric, two incredible entrepreneurs and people that are really behind the cannabis industry. Was a big influence in getting everything put together in Colorado before they went to Massachusetts. They have the famous Kim dog growing for them. And a lot of people only think it's a strain. Well, it's not. It's a guy. We've had the pleasure of sitting down with him and talking and eating lunch and just really diving deep into his history. But Meg and Eric, their dispensary, when you go into it, they have an incredible grow, but their dispensary in Holyoke, it's all these little venues, little vignettes, and you can actually touch the weed and hold the weed and smell the weed, so on and so forth, and beautiful glass objects that you can buy. Uh, the list goes on about this store. It's very artsy. You can tell a female was behind it, putting it together because it's just that incredible. Then you come to Arizona, and we got to meet Mo and Chip, who has two of the largest dispensaries in Arizona. These guys have developed some incredible products, just like the pain cream that my mother, 97 years old, uses on her legs. She swears by this cream. My wife swears by it, but everything that Mo and Chip does is top notch. Uh, Johnny Greenfingers in California was in the music industry, and now he's in the weed industry and's got a dispensary with a grow. And then you go to the famous Shord from the Netherlands. He's right outside of San Francisco, which we had 2 days there with him, and I could have stayed there much longer with him. It was like going back into a time capsule. He had Acapulco Gold and Jamaican Red and all these different things that were around, these plants growing that was, back when I was a teenager growing up, we would try to get. And then you go out to his field and he's got acres, 70,000 plants growing outdoors. It was like a step back in time at his place. And the list goes on. And then there's Nate and Polly that's in the cannabis industry, but they're really not in the cannabis industry because they sell picks and shovels.
Hmm.
So they supply the lights, the nutrients, the soil, the everything that you need for a good quality grow. They sell, and they sell stuff and ship it all over the world. So uh, I will say that we had some incredible times. Got to really see behind the scenes. Now, probably the guy that I couldn't stop laughing the most with was Kelly Moss in North Carolina. He's been in the weed business since he's like 11, 12 years old, and he's now in his 40s. The legal market, but he's in our show where you see that little deal from the streets, the voice of the streets or whatever it's called. I can't quite pick it up, but Kelly just makes you laugh the whole time you're with him, and I can spend days with Kelly just going through meeting all these different cannabis people and stuff. So I will say we got the cream of the crop, the cream of the crop in season one, and I'm looking forward to going forward with them in season two.
I agree with that. That sounds amazing, and hopefully I get to visit a lot of those places and meet those people as well. It'd be an honor to interview them too as well. So I
Well,
think,
I think that's your next step from this point. You're gonna start on the cast members.
yeah, I'm excited to meet everyone, just see how it all works and like pick everyone's brain and just find out the like why everyone, puts their input into the business and what they all, see where it'll go and things like that.
They're all so different, but I will tell you one thing: they're all about medical. They're all about helping you, and they will go out of their way to help you if something's wrong and they believe cannabis or something that they have can help you. They go out of their way to help you. And that's what I think when you look at the OGs of the cannabis industry, Meg and Eric and Piasecki and Kim Dog and Short and all those people. When you look at those, they're all about helping one another and giving, you know, technology to one another and what works, what doesn't work, helping you out if you hear about a veteran that has a problem, then let's get together and do that, take care of that veteran. The list goes on. Just an incredible group.
I agree. I'll have to meet them and see how they all work. But I like that you said that they like to do the like health reason behind it, medical, because
Yep.
that's mainly what I'm interested in learning about all the medical and science behind marijuana and all that. So it'll give me more insight. And then kind of help me, know what I'm putting into my body and, how I'm reacting to it and, why it is I feel a certain way that I do.
And I will also tell you, you're going to meet two gentlemen, the McKernan brothers, Kevin and Brendan. They own medicinal genomics in Rhode Island, no, Boston, and they are strictly a lab. Probably some of the top scientists in the country, if not the world. And they can dive deep with you about it, and they will tell you a story about their father and how they checked him out of the hospital and started giving him cannabis, and got him. Now their father ended up passing away, but they got some quality of life out of their father towards the end, for the last few years by giving him cannabis, to the point where their dad looked at him and said, you've got to do something about this. It's your mission to get this to the public and make it legal. So they're on a mission, and you will find out a tremendous amount of information from those two guys. And they're in our season 1 too.
Well, awesome. I'm very excited to hear about that. And that sounds like amazing work that they're doing over there. And I hope that, they're able to accomplish that goal. I would definitely love to see that happen.
Yep. Yep. I agree.
So where do you see the cannabis industry going in the next 5 years with all the changes and everything?
You know, I wish I had a crystal ball, but uh, I think I kind of say that the cannabis industry right now is so much like the .com industry years ago. It might have been a little bit before your time. When the .coms came out, everybody got into it, and only the strong survived. Google, Meta, the big guys all survived, and the other ones went away. That's what I think is going to happen in the cannabis industry. I hope what does not happen is that, as Kelly Moss says, the suits are going to take over, and I hope that does not happen, and I hope big pharma doesn't come in and try to control it. But I do believe in the next 5 years it will be legal. Uh, I just hope it's legal and running in the right direction, not the wrong direction.
I agree. There is always that chance that people could just try to use it as a profitable thing, and then we get like situations where they're kind of forcing things to come out quicker, and we're not doing proper research behind, all the products and things like that. I always think about how people could just turn it into like a thing where they profit off of and not, do the research behind it. So I hope it never goes down that lane.
Yep, I agree. I agree.
What's one leadership lesson that you've learned, whether it be like the hard way, but you always keep it with you to this day?
Don't take anything for granted. Uh, I got an incredible team behind me. I try to just open the doors and let the team do what they need to do. Uh, I'm really quick to say what I think needs to be changed, but I never tell them I want it done. I just, I just want to make sure that, they're not going in a direction that could possibly come back to bite us in the ass. Uh, and, that's, I just got a great team behind me. My son, Jeffrey, you now joined our team. David McKillop, it's probably my ace in a hole. He comes from an incredible TV industry. Darren Chavez, our entertainment attorney, Eli Sluter, our business attorney, uh, Kayla, my second hand. The list just goes on. It takes a village to get it to the next place. It's not about me; it's about us, and that's what I try to instill in everybody, as well as myself every day. It's not about me; it's about us.
I like that a lot. I'm gonna try to instill that in myself because it is, yeah, I like that. It's not about me, it's about us. And I
Yeah.
like the team that you have gathered together. It all seems like everyone cares and really wants to put their effort into things. And like you have David, he's a great guy. When I interviewed him, he gave me a lot of insight about the industry. So, everyone just is very informative and they know a lot about this industry. So I feel like putting everyone's brains together, it just explodes and then, you can go crazy and make something big happen.
Yes, I agree. I got our production manager, Amadeus, has been with me since day one.
Mhm.
Uh, a great guy. You'll interview him because he's been with me the longest out of anybody on the team. This past year, we had Patrick doing some things for us in production, but it's you live and learn, and sometimes you don't make the right choices, and after you do, you kind of scratch your head and go, well, what could I have done different? So we've learned from season one into going into season two.
I like that, and I'm excited to see where things go with season two. I think it's going in a great direction so far.
Good, thank you.
So here's kind of a funny one. If you had to pick a running team of wild creatives on a set or dealing with lawyers and paperwork all day, which one's worse for you?
Oh man, I'm out there with the crazy ones, which is what I try to do on a monthly basis. Is I'm fly somewhere and get with one of our cast members and go out into their field and walk out there amongst it and spend a day with them and break bread that afternoon. And that's me. I want to be with the crazy ones. That's the reason I have the attorneys, is so I don't have to do the bullshit. They do it, and they're incredible at it. So uh, I'm definitely going to go with the crazy ones.
I like that. I think I'd probably go with them too because I hate paperwork. I don't like dealing with lawyers and all that. That's a mess, bro.
Yep.
And now here's a kind of a last one. But when the work is finally done, what's your go-to way to just relax and chill out?
I uh there's times that I just want to, I get up in the morning and I take a gummy, a lion's mane gummy, to help me on focus all day long. In the afternoon, it's nice to maybe sit out there in a rocking chair by the pond and watch the fish and smoke a joint and just kind of unwind. Uh, Definitely spend time with the family. Love to spend time with my wife, my son, and my daughter-in-law when we can. Uh, we just got a new little puppy, so
Oh,
she brings a lot of joy to us. So it's as I've gotten older, I've realized, it's about family, and yeah, work can be you can get work done tomorrow, but there's got to be a time you cut it off and just want to relax and unwind.
I definitely agree with you as a workaholic myself. It's sometimes hard to take that balance, focus on family and just take some time to unwind when you're just steady on the
Yep.
go. So that actually I kind of have another question for you. How would
Mhm.
you tell people to best manage their stress and just going about daily activities and, dealing with, the humdrums of life like work and school and all that?
I'd say put them in priorities. Don't try to clog your mind with everything at one time. Put it in priorities. School would be number one. Number two, family. Number three, work. It does take work to enjoy the family because without making money, you can't. But you also don't want to miss those times, especially as you get older and you start having grandkids, or your kids get older and you wish that you would have been with them more, so that you could see them grow, and just prioritize, and don't try to to think of everything at one time, because you'll get it all accomplished, but you just got to prioritize and get it and work at it that way.
That's great. I really like that a lot, and I'm going to take that to heart myself because I could use that advice, and I'm sure many other young people also need to hear things like that. So, thank you again, Ed. Do you have anything you want to ask me?
uh yeah, what as the founder of High Science, what drove you to want to become? Because I got a call from your college asking, telling me that you were looking to intern and do podcasts. We were excited about that opportunity. What drove you to high science? What drove you to want to become part of our team?
Well, when I first heard of you guys, it was through a friend, and I was like, "What's high science?" I never had heard of it before, and I was kind of just going down my list of looking at internship places, and you were the first place I researched because, I'm a cannabis user, and my friend had told me that it was a place that does the study on marijuana and all that stuff. So I was like, that'd be pretty cool to, learn about and see what it's all about. So I looked up the website and watched a few videos, and I was like, wow, I'm like kind of, drawn to this. I was like, this is something I could see myself doing. I would love to be a part of this team. And the fact that you guys, had that opening available for the podcast, I was shocked. I was even shocked you called me back. So I was just putting myself out there. It was something I'm not really familiar with the cannabis industry at all. I'm learning about it as I go on. I just am a user and I, wanted to learn more about the science behind it. So that's why I reached out and I put you guys as my number one spot. And I've always been interested in getting into the podcast sphere of things. Just from what I've learned from school, it's an avenue I could go down. I was pretty interested in it. I mainly all my top places were podcasting, but this is the one where I got the most freedom control and, just could be myself and do something like this. So I was like, it sounds too good to be true. I got to take it. So that's kind of my whole reasoning of why I wanted to be a part of high science. I just kind of taken a chance and I like what you guys are doing here. I love the community you guys have and all the research you're doing behind it. I think it's important and we need a space or, something in the industry, something like this for people to go to and just be, like you said, entertained and educated at the same time.
Well, we are honored to have you a part of the team. So thank you. And thank you for now hosting our show. And I think from this point on, you're ready to start meeting our cast members and having some fun with the industry.
I'm excited and I'm really excited to see all about the industry and just all the stuff I'm going to learn. It's all very cool. I've been using marijuana probably since I was 16, but I never really, thought about all the things like around it, behind it, the business aspects and things like that. I'm really excited to, dive deep and just learning about the science and the growing part as well. And just from some of the things you've told me, how you use it for your health, like I could help my grandma as well, it's just a lot of avenues that, it's great. I think it's great what you guys are doing. It's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. And don't worry about not knowing anything about the cannabis industry because when I got into it, I knew nothing. I knew as a teenager, getting into the cannabis, what I used it for back then. And when I decided to do a show, I had no clue about television, not a flipping bit about television. And when I talked to these guys about cannabis, they were so far above my head, I had no clue. So you just got to be a sponge and absorb and have some fun while you're doing it.
That's literally exactly how I feel. I love the way you worded that. It's a perfect way to word that.
Good, good.
Well, we are running a little bit out of time, but thank you for taking time out of your day to just come and attend this interview. I appreciate it. It has been great asking you all these questions, and hopefully I will be seeing you soon. So, yeah.
Well,
Do you have anything
it,
you want to leave? Any exit words?
no, all I can say is welcome to the family and have some fun.
Thank you. I appreciate it.